Imagine you're standing in front of this crowd. All eyes and ears are on you. Only you. Now start singing. Doesn't that terrify you? I would have never thought I would have done anything like that willingly until I was forced to join theater. I've always had a unique personality. Since I was very young, I knew I enjoyed to entertain people. I find joy in knowing that I've made somebody laugh or smile. This was apparent in school as I've always been marked as the class clown. I'd always go out of my way to do some goofy antic just to get a laugh. One would think that theater would be my go-to hobby, but it wasn't until 8th grade that I performed in front of my first genuine audience. One day in middle school, when we were walking between classes, I began doing a Michael Jackson impression down the hall. I started to draw an audience, which encouraged me to continue, so I walked out in that entire hall as Michael Jackson. It was in that next class where a teacher pulled me into the hall. I was well aware of the scene I just created, and I thought I was getting in trouble.
Eric, I saw what you did out there, and I came to ask you, have you ever thought about joining theater?
That took me completely by surprise. I thought I was getting in trouble, but she was offering me a part in the school show. It would be a place where I could let out my creativity and entertain a large audience. Of course I knew the answer. No thanks. I told her I didn't want to be a part of the school show. I took comfort in doing goofy antics on my own premise, but standing in front of the school and singing? Yeah, no, even that was far out of my comfort zone. For days, all of my teachers asked me to reconsider. They all wanted me to be a part of the school show. It wasn't until a few of my friends agreed to do it with me where I finally said sure. I had no idea how much of an impact this show would have on me. I performed in front of the entire school, and I loved it. Every time I'm on stage, my body starts shaking of nervousness, but my mind is flooded with dopamine shots of pure joy. There's nothing like being on stage in front of a large audience. I continued to perform in high school by joining KUSD Theater. Bradford High School is one of the most recognized high school theater troupes in the country. Holly Stanfield has directed many shows here, and she's a large part in this. She's a major inspiration to me. She's taught me that happiness is a choice, and I hold that quote over everything. Some of the shows she's directed me in were Hello My Baby, Mary Poppins, Catch Me If You Can, and The Little Mermaid. I had a blast performing in every single one of these shows, and each one has given me memories that will last a lifetime. One of my most proud moments was performing in Nebraska. Every year, the University of Lincoln, Nebraska holds the International Thespian Festival, where only a few schools are picked to perform from all across America. And I'm lucky enough to have been able to perform on the main stage twice, holding over 2,000 seats. The entire building is breathtaking and incredibly intimidating. Red velvet covers every floor, and the gold accents remind you that this is a stage for professionals. Performing as King Triton on this stage was one of the scariest things I have ever done. Each cast had around 2 hours to load everything onto the stage. This includes lights, sets, wardrobes, props, and so much more. But once we were finally loaded in, it was time for the performers to start makeup and prepare for the show. All of the changing rooms were downstairs, and there were monitors in the corner that displayed what was happening in the auditorium above us. It showed masses of people flooding in, filling in every single empty seat. And the speakers in the room allowed us to hear the crowd getting louder and louder. The nerves were real.
Actors, 5 minutes to places.
The stage manager had a microphone, and she would constantly remind us over the speakers how much longer we had. Looking around, everybody was doing actor things in the mirrors, shaking out nerves and rehearsing lines.
Actors to places.
My stomach was in a knot. I quickly went up the stairs and towards the edge of the stage where the audience was louder than ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together.
The announcer began to talk, but it was all just a blur. As the audience grew quiet, the actors got into places behind the closed curtain. I watched from the sidelines as the curtain rose to a monstrous applaud, greeting my fellow castmates. My character's entrance was grand. I played King Triton, so I walked onto the stage accompanied by royal trumpets. And when I heard them, I knew it was time to walk on the stage. I felt my hands to begin shaking, but I couldn't be any more excited. I took my first few steps on stage, and I locked eyes with 2,300 people. My nerves vanished. I was living in the moment. I started my lines in my King Triton voice.
Benevolent merfolk, creatures of the deep.
And the rest is history. The show went absolutely perfect, and during bows, I stood alone to a standing ovation. And to this day, there is very little that can match the feeling that I had as I stood there. I still continue theater as a hobby. My most recent show is at the Racine Theater Guild, a comedy called Exit Laughing, where I played Officer Grayson, a cop with a very unique background. Joining theater has helped shape me into the person I am today. It's a way to break out of your comfort zone and bring genuine joy and entertainment to other people. I would have never thought that joining that middle school show would have such an impact on me, but I am darn sure glad that I joined theater.